It's time to check Adam's voicemail.
Ace man, get it on. It struck me the other day during one of your ranch rants that a buddy of mine has spent a lot of time in Central America. According to him, on menus and stuff, they will refer to ranch in like Guatemala as salsa americana, aka American sauce. So I thought you would enjoy that little tidbit, as ranch is everywhere, full of seed oils. Amen. Later.
You can leave us a message at 888-634-1744.
Chris Jericho's here. You can go to chrisjericho.com and All Elite Wrestling, AEW, every Wednesday night on TBS. All right, we got a little news to get into.
Yeah, so actually, before we do that, did you talk to Jimmy about the Oscars at all?
Yeah.
He said...
I did.
And
he told me not to say anything to you.
Okay.
He said, tell Big Chris during the press. Don't tell
That's what you guys are talking
Mini
about?
Chris.
Yeah, I got the whole scoop. You're not going to believe it, little Chris, when you hear about it.
Nah, a little. I mean, I went and talked to him about it because I just found out on the way in. He told me it was came out.
It's leaked.
Yeah, leaked. And then I said, well, now we have a head start, so I, like to be a part of it. And he was like, oh, yeah, sure.
Right.
So in the past, when he's hosted the Oscars, it kind of it got a little past me, and then I was playing catch up, and this time we'll hit it at the beginning. I mean, it's not a full-time job for me. He's got a writer staff and blah, 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 but I will be kept up and contribute everywhere I can. And then, of course, my daughter hit me 10 minutes later. It's like, we're going to the Oscars.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to the Oscars.
Like, she has her ticket.
Yeah.
So everyone's talking about RFK Jr. right now.
Yes.
He was on a plane, and somebody took a picture of him walking to the bathroom, and everyone's freaking out about it because he was barefoot.
Yes.
On the plane, and so
I like it.
You like this?
I do.
So, in fact, I remember seeing this on TMZ.
Yes.
And people are saying that it's changing the way they even think about voting for him. Seeing a guy who decides to just walk barefoot on a gross plane into a gross bathroom.
Yeah.
I question his decision making.
Oh my gosh.
Well, I don't know. It's okay. Couple things. I don't think it's a coincidence. I don't think his approach to this is not connected to his sort of hesitancy and thoughts about vaccines and stuff like that. I am in his... So, and it's a kind of an offshoot of what I always complain about, which is I never took antibiotics. I was too poor. I didn't have insurance. I just never took them. And I was certainly not... hygiene was not a big part of my life. I didn't use antibacterial soap. I didn't use shampoo. Like I didn't use anything. I would hose myself off after doing construction, go back to the apartment and take a nap, And I started realizing I'm not allergic to anything and I never get sick. Right. And I don't have all of the things that plague everybody with their acid reflux. Yeah. Everyone's on something for either their stomach or their brain. Everyone under 40 is on something for their stomach or their brain. And I'm like, where did all these fucking people come from? And how come none of my buddies in North Hollywood growing up out on the streets, swimming in the reservoir, fucking wrestling in the dirt, throwing shit at each other, dirt clods and pissing on each other in the bathroom and stuff. How come none of them has any of this stuff? And how come Amish kids don't have it? And how come kids who have outdoor dogs who come indoors and sleep with them don't have any of this shit either? We're not exposing ourselves to enough stuff. Our body and our immune system will take care of a lot of stuff. And so he's basically saying, I'm not running from germs. And everyone goes, oh, it's gross, it's gross. So what happened? So there's a story, like someone goes, what happened? I went to the men's room and I stepped in a puddle of someone else's piss and I had to get my foot amputated. Like, that's not a story. It's never happened. I've been pissed on by at least 8 to 14 guys.
Adam would have no limbs if that's the case.
No, it's like you expose yourself to stuff and then people go, oh, it's gross. But I don't know. So wearing socks somehow makes it better because it's kind of accepable to kick your shoes off.
I'm a socks guy on the plane. I take my shoes off the moment I get on. The barefoot is if he's putting his foot up on the chair, where
that's
someone
not
else
okay.
can see it on the
there's a
armrest.
There's
I'm
a
against it.
protocol. There's
Yeah.
a protocol, but that's not what people are reacting to. They're reacting to it's gross.
Yeah.
Like it's gross for him, not for his seatmate.
Right.
I mean, this could be the first time ever that someone's political career was put at jeopardy by wearing no socks and shoes on a plane.
Right.
But people, once again, they'll jump on anything.
Yes.
All of his detractors are going to be focusing on this, and all of his fans will be like, "What's the big deal?" or "It's cool" or whatever. That's just politics for you.
So
Yeah.
he actually issued a response video. and
Oh,
sent it
yeah.
to
Oh, what did he
TMZ.
say?
So here's his apology.
Hey, Harvey and all the gang at TMZ, I want to thank you for all you do to keep politicians honest and make sure that they comply with all the norms of our society. And even for me, for calling me out on going barefoot on an airplane, that was inexcusable, and I can assure you that will never happen again.
And it zooms out, and he's barefoot in the airport.
Yeah.
Was he doing an imitation of Katharine Hepburn there or something?
Certainly sounds like
Harvey
him.
Levin from TMZ, I'm barefoot. Sounds like Martin Short doing an imitation of
On
Katharine
Golden
Hepburn.
Pond. That's what he sounds like.
inexcusable offense to be barefoot on a plane.
That's actually a good impression.
That's pretty good.
Thank you.
I like. Yeah.
So there's this middle
Too bad
school.
You can't sing in a dragon outfit.
Fucking avocado.
How humiliating to get beat by me. You know what I mean?
How did I feel? Then I had to sit, then I had to
devastating.
sit next to fucking John Lovitz and watch you sing.
Yeah, if they pulled that avocado head off and Burton Cummings was on there,
It's not so bad.
You'd be fine.
I'd be jumping around.
But you got a rank amateur.
Well, the thing is, I beat George Clinton. I beat George Clinton and lost to Adam Carolla.
Really?
Where's the justice?
No justice.
No justice in the world.
There's a middle school in California who suspended a student last month for wearing black face paint at a football
this
game.
is too much.
Something they said was a, quote, hate incident.
Oh.
According to a suspension notice issued by the school's principal. So they banned the 8th grade student after he wore this black. We'll put a picture of it too. Wore black face paint
Yeah.
at the football game. A security guard even told him,
Come on.
to put more of the face paint on. They said it was more like war paint. It was like or eye black or something like that. Like it wasn't.
It's Road Warriors wrestling paint.
Yeah. Okay. So here's how the game works. Joe Biden and every politician in California and Christopher Wray from the FBI and everything, they all just go, white supremacy is the biggest problem this country faces. And then they all repeat it over and over again. And then the dingbats from the View, well, it should be kept in the zoo. The View, they go, well, you heard the head of the FBI. The head of the FBI said the white supremacy is the biggest problem this country's facing right now. You and I don't see it, right? We see shit. We see black guys punching out guys on subways. We see Hamas supporters, rallying in the streets. But I haven't seen the Klan in a while. We don't see any of it, but they go, this is what's going on because they're trying to scare everyone into voting for them because somehow they're going to solve the problem, except for no one ever does the math. Like, Joe Biden ran. He said, I ran because I saw Charlottesville and I saw those people with torches. And that's why I ran, to stop this. 3 years in, it's the biggest problem we have.
Yeah.
Well, maybe you're not that effective at stopping it, but it's not the biggest problem we have. It's the biggest problem you say we have. So you need to create a problem so we can elect you to solve the problem, which you never solve. But that aside, so now what they need is they need to pad their numbers because there isn't enough real incidents of white racism, the biggest problem this country faces, out there. So they take kids like this and they go, oh, okay. And then it'll get tallied up in the hate crime department. And then they'll go, in the United States, there were 7,000 incidents of hate crime. Yeah, it's this kid. We'll get piled into that.
Stupid too. This poor kid just showing support for the team is now going to be warped for life, is branded, by as a hate crime. It's just bullshit. I mean, look at this kid.
Well, also
if you can't see it, so the kid's got a little bit of black on his cheeks, nothing on his eyes, forehead, nose, or mouth.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So it's also you got to blame the NFL. Because they used to use the lamplight shit. They just put the shit under your eyes, and then that gave way to black stickers that they would put under there. Looked like the aforementioned cocktail weenie. I almost put one up my ass when I got drunk. I was like, give me that.
You got chew 'em first.
Yeah. So then they went back to the lamplight, the black grease paint, and all these jackoffs started doing their whole face in it. You can look up NFL guys. I think Howie Long's kid, when he played for the Eagles several years ago, was doing it. Do you know what I'm talking about? You watch the NFL? They're going full Batman.
Right.
It's not just the shit under the thing. They're going full pirate face with this shit. So that's what this kid is doing because he's watching the NFL and all these linebackers, black and white.
There you go. Look at that right there.
That's a really
same
similar...
paint as that guy right there.
Oh, and by the way, this is 10 years ago. You can find guys now that are going full, what's his name, many years ago from the Minnesota Vikings, bald, interior lineman, undersized, Hall of Fame. Shit, no one knows this because you're fucking Canadian. You're no help. Rogie Vachon, pow, you're on that
Dieter
shit.
Brock.
You can't name guys from the Canadian League.
I can.
Oh, God. All right. There's only one, let's see, 80s, bald, black.
John Randall.
John Randall in the 80s, early 90s had the full Batman shit, and now it's in vogue.
Right.
In the NFL games, guys are taking that lamplight and they're doing their whole face. That's what this kid is doing.
Yeah.
And if I'm defending him, let's look at John
Look at
Randall.
that. I mean, look at that.
Yes.
Yeah, with the helmet on, that's all you see.
Right. So John
War
Randall
paint.
goes full
War paint.
war paint mask with it. That's what he did. All right. If I'm this kid's fucking lawyer, not that he has one, but I'm just coming in with 5 pictures of contemporary NFL guys.
It doesn't matter though, Adam. Once you get branded by that, guilty is charged for life.
Right. Now,
That's why you sue.
do any of these people think he was actually doing the vaudevillian blackface? And the answer is no.
No.
They don't. So then what are they doing?
The ultimate, but still.
They're
Yeah.
padding.
Yeah.
They're padding. They made a proclamation, and now they're finding numbers to fulfill their proclamation. Did they think that the guys on horses were beating Haitians who were coming over the river? No, they did not. They didn't think that, but they said it because they're trying to pad the record. And the record is 2 ways. When a black mob kills a white teenage kid by just beating the living life out of him physically, CNN is not interested in that story because there's no padding to the narrative in that story. So that's how it's going to work. But if George Floyd goes down, that's 24/7 on CNN.
It's true.
A middle-aged junkie career criminal is gone. CNN is wildly animated about it. 16-year-old boy had his whole life in front of him, defended a kid who was being bullied. He was beaten to death. CNN, where are you?
Yeah.
Any thoughts? Any interest?
Right.
No? No,
you're right, though.
Okay, you're padding your record then.
It was the same way when that Uber Eats driver a few years ago, the immigrant who came over, and then was the 2 black chicks jumped in his car and drove away in his car,
Dragged him.
basically dragged him and killed him.
Right.
That story came and went so fast.
Yeah.
There was no
narrative for
there.
CNN.
Exactly.
No narrative. So this is what it is. So if you get caught on the wrong side of the narrative, you're fucked. I mean, there's one person who was executed January 6th. That's a chick, a miniature chick, who was shot in the face, point blank, by a black officer. Good news for him. He's still got his gun and his badge.
Right.
We don't care about him. He was called a hero.
Yeah.
Bad news for her, she's dead. That's how the narrative works. Bad narrative. You talked about, the deadliest insurrection or not since Pearl Harbor. Well, I got some bad news. These guys, by the way, you're counting people, Capitol Hill policemen who killed themselves a year later as part of the death toll from the insurrection, right? Okay, so are you trying to pad your numbers or not? Because that sounds like you're padding your number.
Narrative.
And if you're the black cop who shot the chick in the face, nothing. Not even going to trial.
Right.
There's one shot fired on January 6th. One shot. It was a black Capitol policeman who executed a chick. Now, she was riding. She was climbing through the window, unarmed. Pow. Right in the neck. Dead. CNN, where are you?
Yeah.
I thought you were vehemently against cops using their guns and killing citizens. Isn't that a big issue for you? Uh-oh. Wrong narrative. We get it. Moving on.
Yeah,
Can't
moving
pad a record. Can't tell a story. Okay. Fine. Just realize it, everyone. Just understand it. You can watch CNN. You can watch any news outlet you want, but understand what they're doing. That's all. All right. Chris, I know, he's got a heart out. Where are you going? You're doing more work?
I got to fly to Phoenix today, and then we got. I know this show airs on Monday. We had shows on Friday and Saturday at the Forum for AW. So,
wow.
And Wednesday was at Toyota Center in Ontario. So it's an LA run for us this week.
Nice.
Leaving out of Burbank?
Leaving out of Burbank.
You got your tumbler with you? You need some travelers?
That's hit the
I
McDonald's
need to hit
drive-thru.
the extra large Coke from McDonald's, please.
Yes, with a couple of travelers. A little Smirnoff.
One drink an hour. Good news is Phoenix is only about an hour away, so I should be all right.
Easy.
All right, well, Chris got to make a flight, so we'll bring it home a little early. I'm going to be in Nashville, Zany's Comedy Club. That'll be December 1st and 2nd, doing 4 shows there. Huntsville, Alabama, Vegas. You just go to AdamCarolla.com for all the live shows. Check out ChrisJericho.com. That's his
Big
website.
Chris.
And, of course, Wednesday nights, AEW on TBS. And you can follow him at X, formerly Twitter, at I Am Jericho. Fun.
It's fun.
Come
Always
back
fun.
anytime.
Thanks, man. Avocado versus the Bride death match.
Yes. Until next time, Adam Carolla for Chris Jericho and Chris Max Battle. Lesser Chris. Say it.
A little Chris.
Mahalo.